This is where dreams are crushed. And this is what I don't like about this dash. See that? It sticks out. You walk up to it, you're like, oh, that's different. Okay, suppose it could be cool if, you know, you squint at it. So I'm not happy about that. I'm kicking myself because, you know, I spent 2 days on that. Could have spent 2 days on something else, you know. So basically what I'm going to do is sink this face back so it's flush into there. That'll narrow this up. It'll look a lot cleaner. It won't be protruding, so, you know, you walk up to it and you go, that's different. It won't be that. That's what I don't want. That I want, you know, I want this to look cool. That is the dash out of my full-size 32 Roadster. That's the one I made a few weeks ago, and that's part of the buck for it. So what I want to do is, this is the back half of the buck. This is the perfect width. Slightly taller than I want it. I can't use this because this hole is just mangled because this was sitting on top of it. Anyway, this is a good template. So what I want to do is sort of copy this flavour. So the swoop, and it's got the sunk in bit just like the one I made, but I don't want it to come down too far, and I don't want it to be too narrow over here because it has to come down a certain distance to touch the upholstery. So I've got to come up with a design that's similar to that tall and that wide. And there it is. That's how it'll be facing. I kind of feel like this part here should be narrower. This line should be down here a bit more. I made it 15 millimeters, or just a bit under 5/8 or just over 9/16 border. Apart from this bit, it goes thin and then back out to thick, just like this one, because I don't want that to be too narrow. That's going to be, you know, speaking of narrow, yeah, it is slightly shorter now, which is good. These bits are still the same size as that there, and that's the original. There it is. So it's a very similar flavour. I like to use the word flavour when it comes to style. It's just me. So I'm going to cut this thing out, hopefully cleanly. And actually first, I'm going to route this. This is going to be sunk in just like this. I'm going to route it while it's still all attached, then I'll cut it out afterwards. I thought I was recording working on this, so the last thing you would have seen is just me sort of sanding the wooden part, and then I've added filler and a primer to get this thing nice and smooth. So now I've got it nice and smooth. I've waxed it already. I've still got to put PVA on it, but how I'm going to mold this one differently from the other one is I'm going to attach it to this board. I'm going to clamp it there, and then I'm going to have my flange come out to about here, go in, up, and then over. And there's a rolled edge in here. I'm going to very carefully fill that with Play-Doh, and then after this part's done, I'll remove the Play-Doh, flip this back over, and then do mold the face. So I'll have the flange wall up here rather than the other one where the flange was back here. I didn't like that. It made it difficult to remove. So let's PVA, prepare this for molding. Right, now I've got this all laid up. It looks pretty good. Before I trim it or anything, I've got to drill holes in it. So I can line it up exactly where it is with the holes. I'm going to put this piece of wood under here, so I don't drill into my layout board. And I've got my 8mm drill bit. My favourite bolts, the M8, mate. Right, these are the three tools that I like to cut fiberglass with. This is a bimetal metal cutting blade on a multi-tool. Got the reciprocating saw, also a metal blade, bimetal. This one is an angle grinder with an angle grinder approved tungsten carbide blade on it that can cut aluminium or other soft metals. Anything you like, as long as it's softer than aluminium. So they're the three things that I like to use to cut. I prefer these two because they create what I like to call thick dust, which is, bigger particles. Because this thing's spinning around, it kicks the dust everywhere. This is good if you're going to do like a really big cut. You hook it up to your vacuum cleaner. It catches most of it, but not all of it. It still ends up a mess. Whereas these ones, there's no air movement around them. All the dust just falls straight where you're cutting. So I prefer these. I'm going to cut this out with this. Right, there's my mold. There's been a deception, a smoke and mirror sort of thing going on here. In the time lapse, you saw me lay up this piece, one layer after the other, after the other, after the other, with the paste that I put in the corner so it wouldn't get an air bubble. This piece was on here. Right, But because I did that, it doesn't sit flat on there. It's curved. It's hard to tell, but it's curved. So as it was curing, it pre-released, it popped off there before I wanted it to, and now that's going in the bin basically. So I made this one off camera, but what I'm getting at is when I did this one, I had Play-Doh in there, and that took out the rolled edge underneath. So it was a square shot. So that's a square edge. I couldn't do that again because of all the wax that had been put on it. So now this one's got a sharp edge running all the way down there. It's hard to see, but it's there. To create that rolled edge. And I didn't want that because this is a fragile edge now. So I'm gonna sand this off and then I won't have a rolled edge or much of a rolled edge here anymore, which is fine. Another thing is I laid this one up properly. So one layer, as you saw on the time lapse, only put one layer on it. Then I put the following layers on after this one had cured. I'll get this all cleaned up and make a dash panel. A lot of professional fiberglasses will tell you that you need to put at least 10 coats of wax on and then polish it, wax on, wax off. That is true if you plan to use the product straight out of the mold. If you plan to paint it, you don't need to do that. So for all my stuff, I put one coat of wax on, a thick coat, just like this. Put it on there, get it on there. All right, you can see it, it leaves texture. That's it. Let it haze off, and then put PVA over it.
I never really know what's going on. You look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out. Hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now.
There it is. Came out of the mold real easy. A few taps of the hammer just to loosen up a little bit. Came straight out. There's a little bit where the gel coat's light there, but that's not a hole. Other than that, very pleased with that. Now to put it in the car. Super simple mount, so you got to keep it simple. So it's just an M8 thread welded to a piece of plate. The reason why the plate's that shape like that, I found them under my bench. Use what you got. So I'm going to go roughly there, both sides, just like that. Easy. I'm going to go glass them in.
Guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you know.
There's the mounts in place, but unfortunately they don't work. They're up too high, up too high up here. They need to be down here. I make mistakes. I learn from them, hopefully. So I'm gonna try and cut these out. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. Absolute pain in the butt. If only it was this easy to take them out again. That, I never want to do that again. That's for sure.
Never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart.
There it is, the new dash panel. It's fitted and looking sweet. I've got the windscreen in there, and I've got some sticky tape, non-stick sticky tape. That means something sticky's gonna happen. So you see that gap over there? That's gonna get filled with a polyester filler. The resin and the gel coat polyester based, so it will stick to that like no one's business. I'm gonna fill it up slowly as to not build up too much heat. I don't want to put heat into this, so I'm not sure what will happen to it. Probably nothing good anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do right meow. That's the polyester filler I was talking about. Mix some of that up, smear it in those gaps. I don't want to make it too thick. Go back and put more in. There it is. Windscreen's in place. You can kind of see my outline. Hello. Dash is fitted. Pillars are filled. There's not much I can do about these little gaps here, but yeah. I'm very pleased with it. Very pleased indeed. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.